The Color of Home, Book 1, Seeing Red, by Sean Clark. Chapter 2, The Corporation. In Houm year 624, 34 years after the original eruption of Mount Trieste, a fleet of spacecraft owned by the Nest Corporation came across the Saku system and the pair of inhabited planetoids. At that point, the people of Kadal had succeeded in creating a sustainable and comfortable existence on the rock and had united under governance separate from that of the people's place of origin. The home sky, while mostly clear, still held to a stain of red above the mouth of Mount Trieste, which had yet to completely calm itself. The fleet of outsiders had arrived after receiving a sample of the unique air from the cloudy atmosphere of Houm, infused with the breath of the volcano. As expected, it was laced with a valuable mineral Houmite. Expecting aid of some sort, the vat of Houm allowed the Nest ships to land. The scientists of Nest were quick to look to the volcano and the extrusions it had produced. After only limited research, they concluded what was expected. The eruptions were both the cause and the source of the mineral, pushed up to the surface from within the depths of the planet. Seeing the struggles of the Houm people, the Nest Corporation took the opportunity to induct the locals into their workforce. In exchange for working the land and extracting the Houmite from it, the corporation would work to rebuild other parts of their society. And so the symbiotic relationship between the Houm people and the Nest Corporation began, as per the Nest executives. Kadal, with similar aid from Nest, had since grown to accommodate interplanetary and intersystem travel. With its less restrictive gravitational pull, it became a hub for the system and the stopping point for many outsiders passing along the edge of the region. Even the Nest Corporation, while mainly vested in its relationship with Houm, had settled a base of operation there on the moon, naturally welcoming the arrival of off-worlders who settled there among the transplanted vat. The height of the moon's technological and engineering feats was the tethered station of Akresh, an impressive hub for the arrival and departure of ships of almost any size. Held in the sky by strong repulsor engines, the station was also attached to the planet by a long trunk running to the ground, providing stabilization and a method for traveling up to the platform held in low orbit. Dotting the sky around the tethered station were also various suborbital communications relays, beacons, and flight control stations meant for guiding strips around the net of infrastructure safely. Venna was finishing up her final shift of that week, her first, upon the flight control station Akresh Theta. Shuttle 12 of Nest Ship Trident, you are free to and able to engage, she said stiffly into the headset microphone. It was heavy and tight around her ears, and the headband had done nothing but mess up her neatly straightened dark hair that entire week. That was the last thing she could focus on, however, at that moment, as yet another ship was under her sole responsibility. Those intermittent moments were never truly long, but the beeping of the sensors made it feel like an eternity. The green radar screen flashed with a silhouette of the shuttle, departing from one of the station's many gates and headed for its home ship a good 1,000 kilometers off in the distance. The radio crackled with the shuttle's response, and accented grumbling from the pilot. We go. Off good. No contact. Venna licked her lips and leaned heavily on the desk to either side of the sensor. Adjust your heading to starboard negative .36 to clear the beacon, she directed, her breath heavy. The craft's comms made a crackling in which she assumed to be an affirmative response. With lips pursed, she peered up at the control panel to the narrow windows of the station. Among the blackness of space, she caught sight of the singular blip of the shuttle's flashing light passing by, leaving behind the reminder of her responsibility with that particular vessel. A strong arm tugged on Veda's shoulder. She shot up with a tense back and glanced to her coworker. Keenan was a handsome guy with dark scruff she'd been stealing glances at all week. As someone with mixed blood, she wondered if he, a man of full vat origin, would ever truly have any interest in her. He was moving his lips in her direction, and she tore off one side of the tight headset to listen. That's your first week down, Venna, Keenan said, winking. Venna held her knees tightly together. The baggy uniform of the Akresh Station commune wasn't the slightest bit flattering, at least on her. She smiled and twisted the chair around to better face the man. Huh, she sighed, looking to the other three from the same shift, who were already up from their seats and apparently ready to leave. I think I'm about used to it. A few more shuttles to work out the nerves, you know. The handsome coworker smirked, showing off his neat rows of teeth. We were thinking about going out for drinks tonight, he said, glancing back to the others. Venna bit at her lip, knowing what was going to be asked next. Her breath caught in her throat as she felt the station begin to shift slightly. The ferry had docked onto them from below, bringing in the fresh shift of workers and allowing them reprise. I don't know, I should let my parents know first. My mom, she's more of the traditional sort. Keenan let out a slow laugh. Ha! How old are you again? Well, old enough, Venna doubled down. She heard the fresh banter of the others coming up to the hatch from below, and she knew she would have to speak up quickly or lose the man to the sea of voices. "You said you had a younger sister, right?" He spoke up again, hands in his pockets. "As the big sis, you gotta be the adventurous one, else your parents are gonna lose their minds the first time the little one rebels." "I suppose it can't hurt," Venna hummed, finally getting the courage to push herself up out of the seat. Her legs and back ached from sitting most of the day. As she readied herself to take off the headset fully and put it down, she noticed a fresh blip on the radar. "What's this now? I thought the time slots are on hold for right now." Another of her co-workers perked up, and Keenan pushed her to the side to look at the readings. "I don't recognize the ship. It's not late or early." The loud buzzer and flashing lights indicated the approach of something toward the platform activated. Some of the others began to push down the ladder through the hatch, hoping to force the others down. Keenan held Avenna, pulling her away from the controls. Nothing could be done when the explosives made contact with the platform, tearing it and the attached ferry apart. Hey there, Greasers, Sandwich Sean here. It was so great to see all the likes on the first video of this audiobook that I'm recording. Remember, if you're liking how this book sounds, you can head over to the Amazon link in the description to pick it up in ebook or paperback forms. Remember to like this video, and if you're not subscribed, remember to do so that you can see more of these chapters coming out and to see the rest of my vlog content. Have a good day.